What's up? Welcome back to the contemplation station. Today's gonna be more of like a raw version of this versus than like, like me having things jot down. I felt like I just needed to sit here and like speak for a second. But all right, let's get into it. Sorry, I just had to one of the things that I want to get more down and feel like it's more okay to have is just like a moment of like, just a moment to to yourself, to for yourself, like honestly. I just been noticing, like I said, I think I may have said it in the last video, I'm not really too sure, but I know it's been something that has been like on my mind a lot recently, and it's about giving myself like the amount of grace to not feel like I have to like rush a response to back and forth in a conversation, to be able to pause, to be able to think, to be able to actually collect my thoughts, and so I can actually like portray them the way that I want them to be. And I'm realizing that like it's very important for me to do that, especially like being very articulate, growing my skills of how I want to speak, and especially how I want to portray my words and myself. So like the best way for me to do that is one, just simply not like rushing my responses to begin with. And what have I like, okay, so like what's been going on with me, like what's been going on with my mind, what's been, because this is essentially my version of a mind dump, like a mental dump. And I would say like what's going on with me is like recently I just, I've been redefining what success means for me. I just realized and like low-key killed a huge part of myself and my ego, because like I for a very long time had thought that like I just realized that all my goals and all the things that I thought were important, especially like my goals and all that shit, was built up off of like validation, like receiving validation. And so like ways that I was moving, was to receive validation. If whenever I was a kid, it was either like from my parents and then from people that I want to receive that validation to. And with this new job that I work in, like being a chef, like I'm learning a lot, and learning a lot about like a validation, how I like, I would work so hard to be like the best, to be, really good, to be like highly favored in my superior, like in my, what's the word? In my superior's eyes, and like, or people that I think are superior. And I would like bust my ass and create this character that, that validates all the things that they like and want, and that they see out of me. And then I end up like becoming this false version of myself, and I end up like hating myself and not loving myself, and not truly appreciating like the actual effort that I'm actually putting in, the actual like skill sets and everything that I'm actually learning in those moments, instead of like seeing it as like I'm doing this because I want to be great, or seen as great to you. You know what I mean? Like I want to be seen as great to my parents. I want to be seen as great to like, like proving people wrong in my past. Like, like all of the things that my goals were always formed on, like to be seen in a light that like that does not show my weaknesses, my flaws. And I feel like that must have been like some type of thing that like stemmed down to like my past life, possibly, because like it's always been like a thing for me. I've always I never liked looking people in the eye, because like I always felt like they could see who I am, like truly within and all. And like there's like a very small amount of people in my life that I could say that knows me on a deeper level, but then again, like I still like shield like parts of myself away from them, that like they haven't ever like known, or like they haven't really seen, like. So I still like cried like by myself, not saying that like you're supposed to cry with people, but like I purposely like hide off somewhere, you know what I mean, away from like my fiance and like family, and you know, I cry. At least whatever I have to go through, think about what I need, you know what I mean, and I handle that shit, you know, on my own, you know. Like for example, like today, you know, I live with my fiance, I'm a roommate, and I was like cleaning up the apartment today, and so like I'm doing like the laundry, like the bed washing. Me is at work, and so I'm cleaning up, taking care of the cat litter. We have 4 cats. Making sure they're fed, they have water. Cleaning up. I just drove like trash out. You know, did the dishes, like kitchen, like clean. You know, just like really doing all these like adulting things. And it's like and if we're gonna have like an upfront, like honest heart like conversation here, I've noticed that I've been the one that mostly does that. And like a part of me is just like why is it that like I always find myself in these roles that that takes a certain level of discipline to be able to commit to. You know, why do I have to like always kind of like, not always, but like find myself to be in those positions of a higher like discipline, and like people around me can't really commit to such things like that. And it's like, okay, so if I have such standards and like, you know, work ethic, and you know, it's also like how I was raised and stuff like that, but I'm living with, you know, said adults, you know what I'm saying? Like at the same time, like, you know, I am like, they are like, what, the oldest is like, I think she's like 20, 25, and that's me as like friend, a roommate, you know what I mean? And like, but me and Mia are both 22, so like, my thing was just like, I know that in the long run, me like having this ability to be able to take care of my life, my bills, my apartment, you know what I mean, and myself, and also my passions, and also, you know, to manage all that, that's like a beautiful thing. And you know, still work out to, you know, I want to incorporate reading more, so like there's that. So like I also have to give myself credit, you know, to be able to handle all of that, and still like, and you know, still work the jobs that I like, the job that I work, you know, that's like it's demanding, and like, you know, in its own way, but I'm also like developing in it as well. So I guess like to say I should be giving myself more credit. I should be giving myself more credit for the shit that I do and the blessings that I receive. Literally yesterday I was just thinking to myself, and I had like this thought, and it was I said, I am worthy of I know that I am worthy of my blessings. It was somewhere around the lines of like, I know that I am worthy of my blessings because of like, oh, I'm worthy of my blessings in like every way, because the universe, or sorry, this is how the quote went. I'm worth my blessings because I put in the work every day, and the universe and God continuously to confirm and show me in every way. And because like, yo, I like, you know, I gotta give myself more credit. I'm out here like doing shit, you know what I mean? I'm out here doing it, and like, with people watching me or not, you know what I mean, like with people caring about me or not, like I'm putting that care into myself, and like and trying to show up in love in every way, you know, or with people around me, you know what I mean, and in my life and not in my life, you know. So like so I guess like, you know, you should give yourself more credit. I know I need to give myself more credit for the work that I do, and the way that I show up in life, because it's not easy, and at times like it gets very tiring, hard. Like today, you know, like even supposed like today, I slept and stayed in bed till like technically 1 p.m. and then I got up, and then I started to, you know, clean and do everything. This is also something that I wanted to do as well, and like to reflect, because like there's so much that I can like unpack for the last like week. And part of that was recognizing that my dreams are built up off of false validation, and my dreams shouldn't be built up upon, you know, validation or gratitude, or not gratitude, sorry, but receiving like gratitude from people, and like putting that as like the highest form of success. So what is success for me then now, right? Success for me now is how I show up and how I'm doing things. Like, for example, like, I know that I am successful because of what I have done today. Even though that I had stayed in bed till like 1, I still got up and did all the shit that I wanted and needed to do today. And I'm still here, like, showing up for myself in this way as well. So like, that's one way, right? Am I showing love? Am I being kind? Am I like genuinely trying to understand and show compassion? Am I, whenever I notice that whenever I notice that I'm in my thoughts, you know what I mean, and like in my head, or you don't think it too much, do I recognize, okay, do I take that deep breath of like centering myself again? Like, it's the little daily things, you know what I mean, like that you put in the care. It's simplifying. I'm glad that I learned the lesson of like taking away distractions is just as valuable as going hard whenever you're going after your goals. But really, when you just, we're not, as humans, we're not built and made to be these fucking machines that have such expectations and standards to be able to perform in such ways all the time, every single day. And you can't expect yourself to work your jobs, like your 40-hour week, you know what I mean? Fuck it. People have 50 to 60-hour weeks. And then take care of your house. Some people have kids, you know what I mean? Like, and or like a spouse, you know what I'm saying? And like yourself, obviously. And then expect to show up for yourself in that way, for your passions and shit like that. That's draining. We're not like meant to do that, like on a honest level scale. Like, so if that's the case, why not try to do more, but simplify and realize what are the main tasks, the main things that you want to do that makes you feel good, that makes you happy, that brings successful, that gets you, that what are the things, this is what I would like telling myself and asking myself, was one, if there was like no like such thing as a music business or any career in general, and I was like the only one on earth, what would I be doing? Like, what would I do? That is the things that I should be doing, especially when it comes down to my passions. And two, like, I want to be doing things that have me fall more and more in love in life, like fall more and more in love with life and in life. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's what success is. It's when you're continuously showing up for yourself and doing the things that make you fall more in love with life, you're a successful person. There's nothing or no one that can take that away from you. That's an essence. That's a thing that no one can take. A shared love relationship with life, with yourself, with the divine. It's something that not even rich, successful people can have. And they envy that shit so much. And that's why they're on antidepressants. And that's why they're all fucked up. And they're so detached from humanity. If me being rich takes away my soul, then you can keep the fucking money. You know what I mean? Like, if me being like successful and wealthy and like having all this status and shit like that requires me to lose my soul of who I am and how I actually like to be and actually like to live, and being around nature and shit like that, being detached from my humanity. Like, you can fucking keep it. You can keep the money. You can keep the status. You could keep the cars. You could, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like, bro, like, to be human is such a valuable experience that I feel like we chalked up as such a random thing, that now the valuable experience is to live in a penthouse, you know, a luxury penthouse this and having this much money. Not saying that those things aren't nice. You know what I mean? If that's what you want, then you're more welcome to get that. But don't lose your fucking humanity to reach for that shit. Don't fly too close to the sun. And like, recently I've been feeling like Icarus. Recently I've been feeling like I've been wanting to fly too close to the sun. And I think I did. And I burnt my wings and I fell. And I'm back in the ocean. I didn't die. Well, my ego did die in a way. And like, realizing that like my dreams and my passions, or my dream goals I should say, were built up upon validation, and validation not for myself but for others. And that's a lifestyle, that's a person, a version of myself that I no longer like resonate with. That's a version of myself that I no longer want to like identify with. But I understand and I appreciate that version of myself. I got great love for that Jamar, because like he taught me a lot. And so to get me to where I'm at now. So yeah, just kind of like realize like, okay, what I had to like really sit down with myself and be like, okay, I'm so sorry, but like, you know, I had to ask myself like, what is it that I'm fucking doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that I'm actually like reaching for in my life, you know? And what are the things that I actually value? I recently went to go see Sinners, and I'm gonna be one of those other people that like, you gotta give credit where credit's due. I love that movie. Like, I love that movie. It showed a lot. Coming from being black, understanding what the two boys, like, you know, were trying to achieve, which is freedom, which is what I'm doing with myself. Just understanding on every single aspect and level of the message, the theme of it. It hit me so hard. I cried 3 times. 3 times I cried during that movie. And like, I'm very good, like, grateful to receive such a gift of that message and that film, and because it reignited, it gave me new coals for my passion. You know what I mean? For my fire. It gave me new and better coals, and like, and I feel like my fire, like my passion, my beam, it's burning up a brighter flame, a more beautiful flame, and a more purposeful driven flame, a more divine flame. You know what I mean? And like, and I'm gonna like, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It's been like something that's just been like lingering in my head all day, or not all day, well, I guess all day, but also like all week. And it's just like this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Like, and I'm just like very grateful to be able to, you know, to be able to sit here and like in this moment to have this conversation with you. Like, I really do appreciate that. But also too, like, having the blessing to grow, to give myself the, you know, the blessing to grow. So yeah, it's just like, what have you been like defining as success? Has been a lot, excuse me again, has been on my mind a lot. And I guess for me, if you want me to be like on an honest like level, since that like kind of like ego death, that's because like low-key how it's been feeling, because like I've been looking at life now and I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do then? Because like there's certain things that I want in my life, right? Considering, and it may just stem down from imposter syndrome, because if I understand that at a certain extent that, like, let's say having a luxury lifestyle takes like, or hold on, boom, we just made a realization here. If there is, remember that conversation I had said where there's a necessary evil and necessary good, and if someone is just as delusional as I am in their evil, then there's no reason for me not to be so delusional as I am in my good. Why can't I think that I can achieve a luxury lifestyle and also not doing it in a corrupted way, in a way that to not lose my soul, in a way of my like humanity, or in a way of like I can still continuously to lose or to better understand my ego and not let it drive that type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, allow my luxury to be built up upon true abundance and true divine abundance than actual like fought for, or like, you know, incorrupted ways of gaining it. You know what I mean? And like, so I guess like I want to be able to believe and create a certain belief system for myself to be like, hey, I could have these nice things. Shit, I'm already building it up now. I'm in a nice car and a nice house and a nice job and all these things. So like I'm already building it up, and I can want more. Shit, I deserve more. And just because I feel like I deserve more doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna do whatever it takes to grab or like to gain it. And if I feel like I deserve more, and if I feel like, you know what I mean, then I already have it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like I deserve that, I already have it. And so, I know that God knows the amount of work that I put in, and not just myself, but just day to day. And if He points, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that point, like, period. And so, with that being like said, like, if I feel like I deserve it, I'm gonna get it, and I know I have it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm gonna get it in my way, in my own way. And I don't have to fault to anyone else's system or design or anyone else's belief just simply to get what I want. Because at the same time, like, that's just them getting what they want, because it's through their own fucking shifted system. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get what I want in my way, in my own timing, honoring my own way, honoring my own timing. That is something that I can do and will continuously to fucking prove for the rest of my life. And because there's just certain things in life that I just don't believe in, or there's just certain things that I don't want to falter to, or I don't want to feel like I have to believe in or commit to be able to get what I want. No, I managed to be born black in a corrupted fucking system world in America, where my talents, my passions, you know, especially for the music industry, are destined to wanting to be used as economic gain for these people that don't really actually kind of give a fuck about me or my passions, but just the amount of income that I can bring in for Uncle Sam. So therefore, like, if my dream was to be able to give up my passions for a stronger validation, to give someone else more money, then even though I am making more money, they're taking a more majority portion of it, then what the fuck am I actually, whose dream am I actually fulfilling here? You know what I'm saying? Like, whose dream am I actually fulfilling here? You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like we have to tread carefully. I have to tread carefully on, especially being a creative, an entrepreneur, or whatever. I don't really like the idea of careers. I love the idea of being able to get paid to do the things that I fucking want, and, you know, live that lifestyle in the moment that I may be. Right now, it's just purely passion projects, like, you know, like music. But I also want to create videos, like not videos, but like I want to create like cinema shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a very big interest into acting as well. I draw, you know what I mean? Like, I just love creating shit. That's my passion. And so, like, if that's my passion, then I'm gonna do it in every and all way, and that's what I want to get paid for. You know what I mean? Like, and not just being a chef. Like, I love being a chef because I get to create shit and in a creative way. But that's not where it ends. I love being a musician, but that's not where it ends either. So it's just like, and God knows that, and that's like the greatest thing. Like, I know deep down, and I feel like I could just say it, like, you know, like, God, universe, like, they know that. So they're giving me the time to develop all those skills. So when the time comes, whenever, like, that shit is ready to be, like, it's gonna be amazing. I know, I feel it in my bones that it's gonna be amazing. So just like, yeah, let that divine timing be, you know what I mean? But I know it's gonna be amazing, and y'all will see it, you know what I mean? And it's gonna come from a certain level of self-respect and self-assurance that, like, it will never ever feel like the things that I do is for validation, but it's, in a way, it's the things that I do is purely out of expression and love and authenticity. You know what I mean? There's always a purpose, intention. That's, you know, why I do shit. So I'm getting better at like laying down that foundation of intention on all things, because the universe was intentionally created. Therefore, if I was intentionally created, I should intentionally create. You know what I mean? So just learning from the best. Obviously, look around, like, shit's crazy. So, like, I'm taking every day as a lesson, as a creator from creator, you know what I mean, as a father to son, you know what I mean, like, to learn how to, you know, be the best I can be, and create the best way that I can be, and love the best way that I can be, you know, because I just heard from a podcast, God isn't gonna give a fuck about the amount of money that I've made, the cars that I own, the houses that I, you know, had. Right? He's gonna ask me, like, did I break those curses? Did I develop myself? Did I truly find myself? Did I show and gain and respect love? And, you know what I mean, all these internal ways to help others, and not only others but myself. Like, that's the shit, you know. Did I show up for him in a way that he needed me to? That, like, at the end of the day, like, did I show up for him? Did I show up for the universe in the way that God needed me to? And I feel like that's where I'm at right now, you know what I mean? So, like, that's what it means to be successful, is to show up in the way that God needs me to. And, like, and I mean, I mean that on, like, a spiritual thing, like, not like I like, you know, that I feel more connected to spirit, and not in a religious way, but more of like a spirit way, because it's just like, I'm a very curious person, so I love all the teachings and little things about and the lessons that I can learn from all different types of religions. So, like, that's just the type of person I am. So when I speak of God, I speak of all, like, one, you know what I mean? I and I, you know. If anything, if you want to say, I probably, like, the closest one to it, you could say I'm a Rastafarian. Because, yeah, you could say that, because, like, if there would be one, I'd probably choose that one. Like, a Rastafarian, they, like, not just because they smoke weed, but they're very in tune with nature. They also, like, limit themselves and know when to smoke. But they have such a broad, expansive idea on life, and about, like, living slowly, and, like, actually living in the moment, and living with nature, and not living in the fast, like, world, or aka Babylon. And Babylon is, like, pretty much what I live in now, like, America. Like, you gotta look into it, like, Rastafarians, but it's not what you think, you know what I mean? It's truly not like they just sit there and smoke weed all the time, you know? They're way deeper within to themselves and in their culture, and to God and to nature, than I don't think 95% of Americans could ever imagine to be. And I'm just being honest. So, like, especially knowing that they came from such harsh conditions, and for them to still choose love, like, fuck off. Like, you're just gonna sit there and tell me all they do is smoke weed. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like that's just where I'm at. I'm also just becoming more comfortable with being very still, quiet, and not, like, not being a slave to time, like I said in the last one, but just, like, you know, just show, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I just had to sit there for a moment. Can I just sit here for a moment? Like, you know, like, because I feel like all we do is just do shit. So after this, I'm going to take a bath. I'm gonna play video games. Wow, I know I haven't played video games in forever. So I'm gonna try to play some video games. It's crazy because I know my dad is like, and this is the kid that all he did was play video games. Yeah, I know. But like, I haven't. Yeah, it's been a while. It's because I've just been cutting shit out so I could focus. So, but I know I need to give myself grace. Today is the day. I also have tomorrow off, but I want to do my creative projects tomorrow. So, but yeah, I say if there's one thing to take away right now from this is to figure out what success actually means for you, because I guarantee you your idea of success is built up from what other people tell you what success was. And if you continuously follow someone else's foundation of success, then you're not actually living your dream life. You're not actually living your dream work, your dream job, your dream whatever the fuck it is. You're living someone else's. And that's why so many people continuously to be unhappy, even once they thought they achieved what they thought they had achieved. So I guess I'm skipping that part. and being like, nah, fuck that, I already did that. You know what I mean? Let's figure out what actually success means for me. So thank you for being along on that journey. It's gonna be a fun one. The journey is like, the destination is the journey. The journey is the success. The journey is everything. That was probably that was the first thing I was told whenever I first mentioned that I was doing music, was enjoy the journey. And who would have known how hard that shit still resonates years later of, you know, pursuing such like dream career or whatever. But over time I'm peeling the layers of it and understanding and truly just finding who truly I am and what I am. So it's cool. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Also, like, you are the main character, but you don't also have to like be the main character and everything, because everyone else is like has their own story. So like, to recognize your role in other people's story, but recognize that you are the excuse me. I could be the side quest and someone else's, like, not side quest, but like a side character in someone else's story, but the main character in someone else's story. So just like, also just like accepting that will like give you more grace. It will liberate you more from feeling like you have to be someone all the time. And that's the thing. That's what it is. I always felt like I needed to be somebody. Like, what the fuck? I always felt like I needed to be. I never accepted that I just can't. Like, just who I am, like my being in itself right now is just enough. I always felt like I needed to be somebody. And I'm so tired of trying to feel like I have to be somebody. And so, like, yeah, I'm kind of done with that shit. That shit's annoying. I'm done. I give up on that. White flag. I don't want to be someone. I just want to live. So that's where I'm at right now. So, yeah. Again, appreciate your time. Appreciate your wisdom. Appreciate your company. I genuinely will write down more shit throughout this week. It became like, most of the stuff that I knew that I wanted to speak to you about was like, it was just on the mind. I knew, like, so like, we still managed to make it to like 35 minutes, and simply from just from the things that I know that I deeply needed to speak to you about. So, but yeah, you know that you're God, even though when they say you ain't. It's a Kendrick part, but legit. And continuously to honor yourself. That's not only does people respect that, but the universe respects that whenever you honor yourself in your own timing. So that's what I'm learning. I'm gonna continuously learn that. So, but I love you. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I love you, and I'll see you whenever I see you. Continuously to give yourself grace. Continue to figure out. Sorry, my nose is just like being weird, but yeah, just give yourself grace, and things will come to pass for sure. Yeah, peace.